Alberta finding a new way to push back against Ottawa. Under new legislation tabled Wednesday, Alberta's towns and cities would have to get provincial approval before getting federal money.
We'll be asking a question on various grant applications. Do you receive federal funding? Checkbox, yes or no. How much? It's that simple. And then we'll be able to collate that, be able to have those rise to the top, be able to assess whether they are offside with the approach that we want to take.
Just weeks after the federal government announced direct money for housing in Edmonton, Alberta's government says they're not getting their fair per capita funding share from Ottawa, nor do they want cities and towns dealing directly with the federal government for what they say is federal overreach and agenda pushing. Alberta's Premier Danielle Smith points to an example of the federal Liberals providing funding for electric buses in Calgary, which the province says don't work in winter weather. As well, federal funding for harm reduction.
We're simply just not going to allow them to go down a pathway of supporting safe supply in this province. We're looking at what's happened in British Columbia, having the nurses talk about what a disaster it is there.
When asked if this bill could be used to push a provincial agenda on municipalities, Premier Danielle Smith accused Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of doing the same thing with federal funding direct to Alberta's towns and cities. The bill would also apply to post-secondary institutions, health organizations, and other provincial crown corporations. If a city or town wants something the province isn't willing to approve, Alberta's Municipal Affairs Minister says they can pay for it.
Municipalities have their own tax base. If they have a priority different than what the federal government's might be, they collect property tax and other sources of revenue that they, under our very permissive legislation, have the right to spend as they see fit on behalf of their citizens. On the other hand, they're part of Alberta, and we have the ability to put policies in place in the interest of all Albertans.
In response, Edmonton's Mayor Amarjeet Sohi telling City News in a statement the city has more than 40 agreements with the feds for a range of projects costing up to $200 million, saying in part, quote, "Municipalities and organizations in our city are getting caught in the middle of a fight between the province and the federal government. There are valid concerns about jurisdiction and fair allocation of funding, but there are better ways to achieve these goals that don't result in additional red tape." Reporting from Edmonton, Darcy Ropchan, City News.